In a previous video, I used a least square regression line to predict one variable in terms of another variable. So in context, what I did was I used a least square regression line to predict a reading score based on a student's writing score. Okay, and I hard-coded everything. I used pandas, SciPy, and Matplotlib and Seaborn for like visualizations. We found our least square regression line, and then all I did was basically plug in the writing score that they got, and then it gave me a predicted reading score. So a student with a writing score of 95 is predicted to score 93.8836 points in their reading class. And that's what it gave me, okay? And I added these little extra ones just so we can double check if we got how close we are to the answers that this software is going to give us. So basically we're going to do the exact same thing we did here, but using this Microsoft Machine Learning Studio software from Microsoft. So you want to go to this link right here that I have linked down in the description box below, and you should sign in. If you don't have an ML Studio Classic user account, then sign up there. But yes, once you sign in, it's going to bring you to this home page, and it's going to have something pop up, but you could just close that and ignore it. Okay, close all that. So it should just bring you to this home page. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go to new in this bottom left corner here. And you want to go to data set because you need to actually download the data set that you need to do, that you need to work on. And that's going to be actually in the description box below as well. And if you click on that link, it should bring you here. You should click on download. You should click on the actual thing that's downloading. And then what I like to do is I like to just drag it to the desktop. Okay, and once it's there, that's fine. And once you have that there, you can choose file, and then it should be right there on your desktop. And for me, it's saying this is a new version of an existing data set because I already uploaded it here. But for you, it shouldn't be a problem. You should just click check. Now, while that's uploading, we're going to go back again to the new, and we're going to go to experiment, and we're going to click blank experiment. Now, I'm going to write, give it a title of predicting reading score in terms of writing score. And the first thing you want to do, okay, here it's uploaded. You want to go to save data sets, my data sets, and your data set should be here. So it should be called student performance.csv. And then what you want to do is you want to select the columns that you don't want to be working with. So let's do select columns in the search bar. Okay, you want to connect it, okay, and then you're going to click on select columns and dataset, launch column selector. You want to go with the rules. You want to exclude all columns, and then you want to exclude basically any columns that you're not going to use. So I'm not going to use any of these columns. The only ones I am going to be using is reading score and writing score, because again, I'm going to be using the writing score to predict the reading score. Now, after you select column and dataset, you want to split the data. So you want to basically tell your machine what data you are going to be using to train it, and then what data you're going to be using to score how it did. So we're going to go here to split the data. We're going to connect it. Okay, and you're going to click on split the data, and then here you're going to say, you're going to change it to 7. So what this means is basically 70% of the data is going to be used to train it, to train the machine. And then the other 30% of the data, the machine is actually going to predict, right, what the reading score actually was, and then we're going to score it and we're going to evaluate seeing how it actually did based on the actual reading scores, right? So I'm going to show you, that's going to make more sense in a little second, but we're going to search up here linear regression, and we're going to line it up here. And then we're going to pick our train model, and we're going to put it down here. So now here's what's going to happen. We're going to apply our linear regression to our train model, and we're going to use that 70% of the data, so that's the left side, the right side is the 30%, the 70% of the data, and we're going to use that to train our model. And then what we're going to be using to predict, we want to include here, and so that's going to be our reading score, because we want to train our model to predict the reading score. And then after that, we want to score a model. So this is kind of like, you can think of it as grading it. Score model, put that in there. Okay. So we're going to score basically how it did. So what output did it give us? So by training the model, it's actually going to predict the 30% of the reading scores that weren't given to it, right? So that's gonna score it right here. And then that 30%, the actual 30% of the reading scores that weren't there, that were hidden from the model, we're going to place it right here. So what this is going to do, it's going to score, it's going to compare the two. It's going to say, okay, well, this is the predicted reading scores that we got, and this is the actual reading scores. And so that's going to say, okay, it's going to evaluate it, and it's going to say, okay, how well did it do? What was the error? So that's what evaluating does. It's going to tell you basically how great the error was. So we're going to put our score model here and to evaluate, and then when you're done with that, all you have to do is click run, and when it runs, we're going to visualize basically, not visualize, but we're going to see basically the predicted scores and the actual scores. Okay, now that it's done running, we want to go to score model, right click, we want to go to score dataset, and we want to go to visualize. Now what this is going to give us is going to give us the reading score, the writing score, and then basically the predicted reading score. So this is the actual writing score, right? So a score of 68, right? It was predicted that, well, not, excuse me, a student with this who scored a 68 in their writing class is predicted to have a 69 um, score in their reading class, which is kind of close, 71, right? Not that close, but 71. And this one's pretty close. A student with a writing score of 70 is predicted to have a 70.9135 score in their reading class, and it was an actual 70. Now, I want to show you basically how to the similarities between what we did here and then what we did here in hard coding. In the hard coding, I actually found the least squared regression line using SciPy, and then I just inputted, the slope, the y-intercept, and then all I did was plug in the writing score that we needed. So I'm just going to, let me do something here. We call that extra 2.0. Okay, so for here, I'm just going to paste that in here, and we're going to take, let's take this 70. So let's put that in there. So let's change it from 49 to 70. So when we run that, ooh, maybe it's going to take a while. Okay, there we go. So when we have a writing score of 70, okay, a student with a writing score of 70 is predicted to have a 70.9538 or 39 rounded score in their reading class. And so that is really, really close to what our prediction for our Microsoft Machine Learning Studio model predicted, right? A 70.99135. It's really, really close, okay? And so this is basically just to show you how close it is. It's basically the same thing. You could either hard code it, or you could just use Microsoft Machine Learning Studio to train your machine or to get, a prediction for your scores. And so, yeah. So any questions, please leave them down below. And any links you need should be down below as well. Have a great day.